And we are live. Excelsior.
Excelsior. Hey, everyone.
Hi, everybody. What's up?
It's your friendly neighborhood cryptid.
Move this way. I was
Wait,
in
Fangy's
center
not here,
stage.
Manuel.
Center stage.
I am the. Actually, what did I used to say before?
The internet's
that what I
favorite
said?
cryptid?
That's what it was. Yeah, I'm the internet's favorite cryptid.
Also
It's
wrong.
funny because I've mentioned this before already, and I know I bring this up. I also don't bring it that often. That after Fengi came on one of those first times, and I made that joke oh, we have to have a cryptid off. I just stopped saying that. I conceded my loss without even any fuss. I just yeah, I guess I'm not. I didn't mean to do that. It just happened. Anyways, I'm Manuel, leader of A to J Connections. And yeah, I'll get into the plot, into what we're talking about later. But Josh, introduce yourself while I share this thing.
Hi there. My name is Josh. I am Fotaku Network. I am here to talk about Marvel and Marvel accessories.
Propane and propane accessories. Yeah,
it's a marvelous Marvel night.
Yes.
I watched this video the other day. It was actually about Shazam, but it goes on and on about
So we're getting off on a very on-topic thing. Hi, Wesley.
It is because there was the whole thing about Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And about the Marvel trademark and all this other nonsense. And it just I just found that really interesting, and I was just oh my god! And there's far more to it that you don't even realize. Apparently that character at one point rivaled Superman.
Yeah.
And
he was the original flying brick, Manuel.
Okay, he flew before Superman flew.
Yes.
And whether you believe the rumor or the whatever that Superman was never meant to fly, that was a mistake in drawing, whether that was true or not, he still didn't fly early on. I find wild.
I mean, because he started doing it because it was just easier to animate him flying instead of having to do the running leap.
What's up with that, by the way? I feel like that's a weird superpower. That's one of Hulk's superpowers, and I'm who's travel is leaping, and what if there's somebody already there when you're gonna land? Is Hulk able to Is this an old school NES game where your jump animation is kind of locked, or is he able to move? If he's gonna land and there's a building there, there's an old lady crossing the street, and he'd be oh shit, and dodge, or is he just sorry old lady, I'll gamma radiate you.
While we're talking about the distinguished competition, I think he would just use his super speed and reflexes to grab the old lady and shield her from the force of that.
He can grab her and shield her yeah.
Yes. But okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking MCU. A lot of stuff happened. There's today the trailer for
Fantastic Four First
Steps, which is a stupid name. I want to get that out the way.
They've
right
seen
now.
worse. They've seen worse. Just let Marvel do its thing. It looks like they're doing okay.
What does First Steps mean?
Well, it's set in the retro 60s.
I know what this is really about, okay? Because when you see Galactus, they're not fighting Galactus. They're fighting Galactica, who is taking her first steps, and she is going to be fighting the Fantastic Four, who obviously will not kill her, or Thanos will... not Thanos, or...
Galactus?
Galactus will actually eat the planet, and it'll be this weird thing where it's Galactus isn't really the bad guy, but it's just gonna be cute because right now Galactica is the most popular thing right now, and yeah, so that's why I think it's First Steps. We're just fighting a young Galactica who is clearly taking her first steps to do what her not dad is telling her to do.
I say that, and it's set in the retro 60s universe. So it's also the first steps for mankind into space, them possibly into the multiple possible realities. Also, I believe Franklin and/or Valeria is in the movie, so it's kids taking their first steps as well.
Franklin Richards?
Yeah.
Franklin Richards didn't take his first steps. He took his first stomps and then understood consciousness within 10 minutes and then decided that he would just become the most powerful Omega mutant in existence.
For the record, he's not making that up. That actually is comic lore. I actually used to love Fantastic Four. I mentioned this in a past podcast. I forgot if we were talking comic books and like something one time, but I used to love Fantastic Four. Like I remember like in the 90s, I used to buy the issues like from like 7-Elevens and liquor stores, like new as they came out. I remember the arc that was going on around the time that I was reading was Reed Richards died, like one of the many times he died.
Many
And
times he's
yes, and they replaced it with Doctor Doom's son, who I think is also Doctor Doom just by nature of the name. You know, like I think he's a
But
doctor.
did he
and
earn
his
his
last name is
doctorate,
Doom.
Manuel?
I think I think he's also Doctor Doom because I remember
comic
like
lore.
I remember they kind of like catfished you because they were implying that Doctor Doom was going to join the Fantastic Four, but it was Doctor Doom's son, you know, in Doom armor, obviously though. Um, and he was only there for a bit. Then eventually Reed Richards was, he's actually alive. He didn't die. He was in space with like the Watcher or whatever the fuck. I forget exactly the details, but that was an arc that I remember was current when I was reading. And I remember I used to go to like every comic book store and I would buy every Fantastic Four comic I could. Like, you know, the ones that be at the dollar bins or the 50-cent bins.
So you're saying
And
that you are the one who could judge this with extreme scrutiny. So when you said First Step sounds like a stupid title, you were like, yes, it's a stupid title. Oh my
no,
gosh.
okay, I do like the bringing Fantastic Four like to the MCU. I do love that they're bringing Galactus. Like, oh my god, you know how stupid that
Or
fucking
Galactica.
Silver or Galactica. To be fair, who knows who that's actually Galactus? That was a
Uh,
weird angle they showed them at.
well, I
Um,
believe is it Ralph Ineson? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
he already
It-
been they
He's
already said he's
cast
playing
as
Galactus.
Galactus. Yes.
Is that official? Like, anyway. But it doesn't matter. Galactus is in it. Is Silver Surfer in it? It's like
Yes.
one of his other. Because I
I mean,
think.
if
An
you
alternate
can't
version
have
of the
one
Silver
without the
Surfer. I
other.
don't remember her name.
Okay, I was gonna say like I do know that there's like well, first of all, I remember it's funny because I remember one of the first comic books I ever got, which actually made me obsessed with Fantastic Four, is my aunt had bought me a Galactus like omnibus. I think you can still buy it on Amazon. I remember I looked it up a couple of years ago out of curiosity, and it just basically collected like Galactus's all of his appearances up until a certain point in the Fantastic Four universe. And I remember like it's funny reading them like in sequential order like that because like the way it ends, or the way that the Galactus saga ends in the comic books is Galactus shows up. They're about to kill him. They find a way to kill him, whatever the fuck. But instead of killing him, Reed Richards is like, even though Galactus eats worlds, he deserves to live because all animals have to eat, you know? So, like, he gave the
It's
Silver
pretty much
Surfer.
the equivalent of fuck them other planets, but ours is
Yeah,
okay.
honestly, he busted a Batman. We're gonna get there in a second. He busted a Batman, which, like, if you just killed him, you would have saved. And in Reed Richards' case, he would have saved trillions upon like gajillions of lives. I don't know what the word above trillion is, but yes,
Quadrillion,
he
quintillion.
he would have.
I think it's
Oh, it goes like
sextillion,
only-
septillion. Yeah, for a bit. I don't know
You
when
only
it
have
stops.
so many Kree and so many what's it called, Skrull like planets around, you know.
No, it's funny because the whole thing was that Reed Richards gave gave Silver Surfer a bunch of planets that had life that Galactus could eat, but they weren't like sentient life, or they weren't like, you know, things that I'm like, first of all, fuck you, because that's still life, you know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that could have been a person, so like in a few billion years or whatever, but now they're not going to be.
He
But
should have been like, hey, could you do us a favor and go to this like one planet that'll have this one dude on it, like in 2020 was it 2020, what's it called, 2018? It was still 2018 at the time, right?
just give him some worlds we don't care about, like Mercury. Shut up. You're missing the
Let
point.
him have
But that-
Pluto.
But that's actually what happens. Apparently, because Reed Richards sends Silver Surfer and Galactus away, but I guess that fucker has to eat a lot. Because what eventually happens is like a bunch of like universe people, like a universal court, basically, puts Reed Richards on trial because like obviously Silver Surfer and Galactus ran out of planets. So like
Yeah.
so
Wait,
he just
is
went
this
back
when
to
they-
eating.
Is this when they reversed Galactus and then he like didn't know what to do because he wasn't destroying planets anymore, but it's because he didn't have to do that as a function, and then he like hung out with Molecule Man, and then Molecule Man was like, I'm gonna be like a bad guy for like 12 issues because I effing can.
I know which one you're talking about. That happens later, but yes, that does happen soon after this. But yeah, Reed Richards comes on trial, and it's the same bullshit. My only point to bringing all this up is I hope to fucking hell they don't do that in the movie. I hope if Galactus is there, they murder him. just smash him into
I want-
pieces. Do
I
not
want
let him.
Cheshire Cat Molecule Man. I hope that if we get that arc, that'll be dope. He is one of the most OP fuckers, and they at least give him a good sense of humor. So, but very specifically from that particular run. Otherwise, he's kind of above vanilla, but not much.
He's French vanilla.
My,
Okay.
my favorite thing about how Galactus eats planets, at least in the comic books, at least early on. I'm not sure if he eats them differently later on, but early on he has to even though he's huge, he's not that big, so he has to set up this almost reverse telescope looking thing where it starts here, then
funnel?
it gets all yeah, oh, I guess that's a better way to put it. He makes a funnel to feed himself. He just it's like a giant funnel shaped straw, and he kind of, I guess it's just he Kirby's the planet.
Galactus would make a very good end boss in Kirby. He fits right in with the rest of them.
He was an end boss in UMVC 3.
And I mean, obviously the Skrull, is that what they're called? The people with the weird chins,
Skrull.
The green people with the chins, Skrull. Okay, the Skrulls. Obviously there's a whole thing about Skrulls. We're not gonna get into that, but they brought those in that one MCU movie, didn't they? Not the movie, the
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Well, Captain Marvel too.
Secret
but they put
Invasion.
it. Isn't that? Yes. Oh my god, we'll get there if we have time. We'll get there. I have some.
We already did Secret Invasion.
No, his opinion on that. Well,
apparently Rhodey, Rhodey?
Yes.
Is that his name? Yes. How long was he a Skrull?
I don't think it matters. They didn't bother telling. You can't really tell as to when. It would be a little bit weird if this whole time that was the Rhodey who was hanging out after getting crippled, which means that that's not Rhodey who's making going up to Tony Stark at the end of Endgame, and it all just kind of feels a little awkward because I don't know. I don't think it's implemented well enough, because otherwise we'd have to be sure he was a good character, but he just kind of dies. And
yeah, I think the tell is if he doesn't have his. It doesn't show up in anything, I believe, but he was supposed to show up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that he doesn't have his brace anymore because he said he had some experimental treatment, but it got cut for whatever reason, and that was
so he should have been a Skrull there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
I wish they would have implemented a Skrull earlier, even if they would have said oh, actually there was a Skrull, but outside of the whole Nick Fury thing, if Talos was just kind of around other than just being Nick Fury, I think that would have been cool.
But I remember one of the reasons the Skrull particularly hated Reed Richards, and obviously there's a lot of reasons that we can go into that, but was because I guess the Skrull have 1 billion planets that they occupy. Galactus had I don't know if he just had a thing against them, but he was eating a ton of Skrull planets. He would just yeah, the Skrull are I don't know if they're tasty or something. He just likes the way the Skrull taste over I don't know, the whatever Gamora's people are called, but but yeah, I don't know. But
I've got to think,
but
given
anyway.
the size of a planet, how much does one individual affect the flavor on?
Okay, for example, imagine a bunch of people are you know when you eat ants. Okay, where am I going here?
When you eat ants, I mean, some people do, Manuel. I'm not going to knock them for their cultural things.
Have you not had the candy ants they sell at the weird gas stations on the way to Northtown?
No, I haven't actually.
We gotta buy some of those and have an eating thing on a UPZ one day. But anyway, I just imagine that. Obviously, if you one ant, you won't really taste it all. But if you get a handful of them, there was a much better. I could have used anything else.
You could have said salt, pepper.
Yes, but when you get a bunch of it in your hand, you just throw it all in. It's then it tastes different. You can actually get the flavor profile.
I thought it was going to be expired or something. It's actually not bad.
Okay, I thought was talking about the ants.
Yeah, peanuts are. You're allergic to peanuts. I'm not.
Oh, so about the peanut. I still have my emergency peanut butter if I want to pull that out. But anyway.
Sorry, my girlfriend was she ate I thought expired chocolate, and she was giving it to me, and I was afraid because she was yuck, and I'm just the only thing that was yuck about it is that it's Hershey's milk chocolate, but other than that, the peanut was good.
Wait, Hot Topic used to sell the chili flavor crickets?
I think there's a time when they were kind of a fad.
Well, yeah, I remember when crickets, because crickets, I think regularly invade, that's a weird term to use, but they regularly infest or whatever the word, Las Vegas. I think just because of desert, probably global warming reasons. Let's be real. But but whenever they come around Las Vegas, everyone's like, I'm gonna grab a bunch of those and eat them, and I'm like, those aren't food grade, sir. Who knows what they've been eating? Because that apparently like affects. I like how we're talking about eating insects, but that apparently affects insects' taste the most. It's like what they're fed on, what they're raised on, and if they're like eating trash or like or like rotten carcasses, like they're not gonna taste very good. They might make you sick. So always get food grade ants, crickets, and scorpions. And okay, let's move on. Anyways, back to First Steps. The trailer's okay. Like I'm still confused, and I guess the obvious answer is this isn't like the current MCU timeline, correct?
Yes,
like
this is an alternate
multiverse
universe.
It's current. So just we're lumping them in. Wait, so then why didn't? Okay, I don't mean to be like let's nitpick, but there's a part of me that's like if it's clearly 60s and we're going off of what Doctor Strange had said in the Multiverse of Madness, then why is it that Hank Pym doesn't bring them up?
No, they're an alternate universe. This is an alternate timeline.
Alternate universe?
Yeah, this is a full-on alternate universe.
Oh, my bad.
One that we haven't seen yet, I assume.
Yeah.
Because like you would think that somebody would be like, oh yeah, remember when Galactus tried to eat us that one time? Remember how like in the 60s everything looked like it was like that World of Tomorrow from like Disneyland?
Yeah,
like,
I mean
Disneyland
that's the aesthetic they're very clearly going for. The retro-futuristic kind of thing. Which I'm really digging in the trailers.
See, what I'm not digging in the trailer, it's obvious that this isn't an origin story. And part of me hates that it's not an origin story.
We've had them.
I know.
We've had them like how many 4 or 5 times already?
I mean,
we had like
2 times, 3 if you count the Roger Corman movie.
In the 90s. We had like the version of them from Fox when they decided they wanted to do them. We had the Incredibles. We had the other time that Fox wanted to do them again. I think we don't need any more of the intro stories.
I think they're popular enough that they even mentions they went into space, they got blasted by radiation, and now they all have powers.
I find it funny that it just because it always I guess that's what the MCU does, and I guess it works. I remember when I first
Spider-Man
watched
with having to do Spider-Man again.
No, that's what I'm saying. I remember like when I first watched was it Civil War he debuted in?
Yeah.
And I remember when I watched it, I was like, wait, where's Uncle Ben? Is he already dead?
Yes.
Is Tony Stark gonna kill him? And like I was so confused for a second there, but I guess he'd already died by that point. And like when we saw Black Panther, actually he's the perfect example because I watched that movie, which I think was definitely Avengers. Was that which one was that? Was that Civil War also?
Yeah, so he's in Civil War, yeah.
And I remember being very confused. I remember like, wait, when they introduced him? And I think they mentioned him before. They mentioned Wakanda, I should say.
In Age of Ultron.
But like, he wasn't like he didn't get like a whole like backstory either. And obviously he got his own movie, so that's kind of the thing. But yeah, I just find that weird that they intro characters just like that. It's like, yeah, by the way, this is them. They have powers. Let's move on. They're here now.
They're gonna have a little bit of like the backstory from what we could see in the trailer. It's a little bit, but
I kind of like that the Thing is fully CG now, but part of me does miss a guy in a costume.
It was only for Chickless and I guess in the Roger Corman one, which never really got released.
Yeah, I've not seen Fantastic Four Stick or whatever, however you say that one, the one that
it's supposed to be Fantastic Four, but to differentiate it from all the other ones, it's Four Stick.
There you go. I've not seen that one for the record, so I don't know if that one's terrible or not. I hear it is. Yes, I hear it is. So I kind of purposely stayed away from it, and I keep forgetting it exists. Every so often, I'm like, oh yeah, like they did it again. Like without Jessica Alba and like Michael Chiklis and whoever else played whoever else, but
Chris Evans and
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans was Johnny Storm, Manuel.
Torch? What are we talking about?
Wait, so he's like been in the MCU forever.
Manuel, did you not watch Deadpool and Wolverine?
He's also been in.
Did you just think they pulled that out of nowhere?
Universe, as we all know, the amazing Scott Pilgrim comic universe.
So he has jumped in every CU there is. Is he in DC also?
Wait, was The Losers adapted from a DC comic? I don't remember.
The Losers? What's The Losers?
We're never going to do any origin story ever again?
That's just what B wants.
I thought The Losers was...
The Losers was a Vertigo comic, which is owned by DC. So yes, he has been in something for everyone.
And nobody needs another origin story for anybody ever again. know about that ever again, but I guess that is true.
For
But
the
I don't know,
super
like,
popular ones, I think we've got it by now. For the ones that have evaded or invaded public conscious to that level, I can kind of agree.
we don't need to see Batman's parents get killed again.
I do know about that. It says
I don't know what B was
3,000?
specifically talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm curious what that is too. But yeah, so what were your thoughts on the? I've been shooting the shit a lot. What are your thoughts on the trailer, Josh? Out of curiosity, that we
I
haven't
like
already
it.
gone.
It's very stylish. I'm glad that I was updated with saying that that's a different universe. So it was going to be like, how did they go from futuristic 60s to like
I
whatever the
know.
fuck was like the MCU that we saw? But either way, it's okay. I mean, this is pretty cool. I think we should definitely be open to the route of just seeing videos, especially if we're going to have an actual multiverse thing. I think what they should have just been doing was, hey, let's play around with the multiverse stuff. And then from there, then you have our like, oh, we pull it all in together, but at least you can have a lot of good self-contained stories, because I kind of feel that like trying to keep the thread going is, especially after like Loki, was just gonna make it like, I guess it was rough just because their Jonathan Majors plan didn't work out. But I mean, I think they should have focused more on like, hey, we just had this really big Grant story. Why don't we just focus on having a bunch of individual stories? And then if we are going to have some big event such as like Secret Wars, I kind of feel like they should have just been doing what they did with What If. You know, just give us really good, different type of stories outside of still justifying what If would be, because then that's just kind of like, oh, we're messing around with like certain ideas that just tweak plot lines just a little bit. But no, like having just a vast array of different type of movies. And if we had the situations with how stylish the 60s are, it would make it nice when everybody's theorizing like, wait a minute, is this a different universe? This is still the same universe? And then later you have like a multiversal movie before getting everybody a little fatigued on multiverse stuff.
It's funny. You look at the 60s that they're showing in the Fantastic Four movie, and I feel like it's one of those memes. It's like, I can't think of a good example, but
Society
like,
if X had happened or
yeah,
X
if
didn't
that's
happen.
like, because I'm like, imagine what the 2020s must be for them if that's the way it looked in the 60s. Like they actually have the Jetson cars. I don't know. Is that the future where like Republicans didn't come to power? I don't know if that's even the right terminology.
I kind of feel like that would be
They
correct. I
populated
do feel like
Mars
that
by
would be a correct
by the
assumption.
2020s in that universe,
Yeah.
probably.
Exactly. Speaking of Republicans populating the MCU, I only watched the Brave New World trailer today. I didn't seen it yet. I didn't realize it came out months ago, and I'm like, oh look, it's MAGA Hulk, MAGA Hulk, and I'm just like,
Oh
oh
man,
my god. Um,
I hate it.
the movie looks good though.
Mhm.
It's one of those
Oh,
movies where I'm like, is it gonna be bad? Because I already know Anthony Mackie's come out. I think it was him exactly who came out and said it recently. It was like every movie has reshoots. Calm down. But this is one of
oh,
those movies that basically had a plot reshoot. But anyways, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, I don't necessarily hate the movie. I think that, like, right now, I've just like, it's enough out there where I feel like, okay, this looks like it could be entertaining. I don't exactly know what the direction's gonna be. There's literally like a bunch of different pieces in it, and I would think that would make me worried. But the trailers have looked competent. But I was gonna say, like, we didn't have this MAGA Hulk in the what's it called in the comics. Instead, we had a sci-fi thriller mystery about who is Red Hulk,
Yeah,
and like, it's like it was a really interesting story because it's just kind of like, what the hell is going on here? Before Thanos like literally mopped the floor with the Hulk, and it was just kind of like, god damn. But different story, and it was just really cool to get that ending where it was like, oh shit, it's Thunderbolt Ross. Versus here, it's just kind of blatant where it's like, yeah, he transforms into it because I guess the leader had something to do with it
Okay.
because it seems very involuntary. But I don't know.
Let me put on my tinfoil hat and start theorizing here. So, my idea is, given the events that what's his name, the guy who was Captain America in the 50s, who got the super serum, like Bradley. I can't remember if that's the grandson or the grandfather. What? Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah
Oh, okay.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. that there's some like backdoor mind control thing in the super soldier serum knockoffs, rather than because you don't get whatever radiation made Cap into like the perfect specimen. And that was the
And then
basis
thing
for
that
the
turned
serum that made the Hulk. So they essentially just want a backdoor into the president's mind to use them as their pawn. And that accidentally turns him into the Red Hulk.
Curious how he's going to turn into the Red Hulk too, because I didn't know anything. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I thought Red Hulk, because wasn't there a Red Hulk in that thing? I thought, remember that one universe? Is it Logan? Whatever the Logan thing was like kind of based on, where it's like Old Man Logan. And there's all those Hulks that are like inbred Hulks.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't one of them red? But yeah.
Probably, but that's the comic universe, so we don't have to use that as a basis. I mean, they've done the basic storylines, but they didn't have the Hulk for that or for Deadpool and Wolverine. They just used regular Hulk.
But what I mean specifically about that is, I always assumed that Red Hulk was a much older character. I thought that was Red Hulk, by the way. Apparently, that's just a different colored Hulk, like hillbilly Red Hulk. I don't know who the fuck that was. By the way, that's a really crazy storyline about how those Hulks came to be. I'm not going to go into it here, but it's
please
wild.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Don't worry. But it's wild.
Why do I sound like you're Leonard Skinner?
Exactly. But yeah, so thankfully, when I was watching the trailer, one of the videos that suggested to me was also on the MCU channel. It's Marvel Entertainment channel. Was like a lore dump for like the Red Hulk. So I watched it, and first of all, it's kind of new. It came out like in 2006 or something. I don't remember the exact year, but like 2000s. It might be later than that actually. And like Josh said, it was like a murder mystery. Like I guess like somebody killed Abomination. Is that his name? The other weird looking Hulk creature thing. Somebody killed him, and everybody like got there to figure out who did it. Like, oh, it's Bruce. It has to be Bruce Banner, But wait, he's captured. Who is it? And it's like, and like everyone shows up to like who done it, like like Matlock style. And then it's like, oh, and then it goes on forever about like who is the Red Hulk? Who is the Red Hulk? And then like he's even like killing people that like around. It's like who is it? Who's his secret identity? And it takes a long time to discover it. Yeah, I find it weird that the movie just is like. Yeah, it's Donald Trump, and it's like, and when he gets mad, he turns into Red Hulk. Yeah, like I don't think the movie's gonna go that route, obviously, but obviously, like our little homeboy, what's his name? Ross. I forget his
Thunderbolt Ross. Thaddeus. Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross.
He's yeah. It's just like. He's gonna be one of those kind of presidents. I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm interested. I'm interested to see it. It's gonna have the Serpent Society in there. Have they been in the MCU?
No. Like they were teased for Civil War when it was announced as a placeholder title, and then like 10 minutes later, they said, "Nope, it's Civil War, not Serpent Society."
But yeah, so I'm interested in what they do with that. They're probably gonna screw it up because from what I understand, that's most of the rewrite that they had to do, like in the reshoots. So I don't know. Hopefully, they don't screw it up. Apparently, that Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito.
There you go. That dude.
Breaking Bad. Gus.
He's also in
The Boys.
I think the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's in everything now.
He's like the Darksaber guy. I forget that character's name. But anyway, apparently he was added. Like he was added to the cast, and his character was added because they replaced Seth Rollins, who was playing a different Serpent Society member. And part of me hopes actually that it was just because, for those that don't know, Seth Rollins is a pretty popular WWE wrestler. Part of me hopes that it was just that he was such a bad actor because, like, I could live with that if they already paid him his millions. They're like, oh, dude, you suck. Yeah, we're changing your character. We're calling in. We're calling in Giancarlo. I'm not gonna say his name again.
Yeah, it's Italian.
We're calling him in, and there you go. But I'm excited.
So just so I can be sure, because this is where I get also confused. I could have just heard wrong, so I'm glad to be corrected. Is he playing Bishop?
No, he's playing Seth Folker? Sidewinder.
Yeah, Sidewinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard Bishop. I was almost like, wait, we're getting an X-Men and future character, and he's antagonistic? What happened?
If they're bringing X-Men into this, they have it. It's a hidden part. It comes out soon though, so
it comes out next week, Manuel.
It comes out on Valentine's Day.
Well, they bring up adamantium.
Yeah.
So apparently that's how they're tying in the
Oh.
Eternals is like, oh, the thing that
Tiamat.
Sylvie turned that one thing into, yeah, it's adamantium.
So are we gonna officially get Wolverine and all the mutants and the X-Men like in the
Hey,
current MCU? Are they gonna?
I mean,
What do you say?
they're not fully slated until after the next Avengers duology. I assume we'll see some of them. Though my bet
In
for
2028?
post-credit scene or cameo is going to be Stryker if they're introducing adamantium. And he's going to look
Wait, who's
completely
Stryker?
different than any
Stryker?
other age he's been in every movie. Because as my sister put
The
it,
guy
if you
who
watch the
gave
X-Men movies in
Wolverine
order,
the
it's really hard to tell
adamantium-like
him
skeleton.
based on the age.
Oh, Stryker. Okay, I know
Yeah.
what that is. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more excited for Fantastic Four than I am for the new Captain America movie. I don't know. Parts of it just seem like, and I know there's probably a lot to be said about this kind of movie too. Like a lot of it just feels like it doesn't tie into everything. And I know I'm the first person that's like, oh god, I hate that all these movies you have to watch all the others. But like this one feels very standalone in a way I don't like. And that's a weird thing to complain about when I will literally complain about the other thing.
Yeah.
Apparently
Very
the fine
standalone
balance
is that you literally need to have caught up with everything. Well, okay, not everything, but there's like a good
Oh,
amount of like the TV shows, the post what's it called,
really,
Civil
I think
War.
this is kind of like okay, and obviously I haven't seen it. Obviously, we don't know the full plot, but like I actually kind of went deep dive. So I think I spoiled some stuff that people have already been like piecing together from like some of the other clips that they've already revealed. It seems like a pretty easy to follow plot that if you came into this like fresh from without watching the first Captain America movies, without watching what else would we have to watch? Without
Endgame
watching
and
like
Falcon and Winter Soldier, mostly.
there you go. Dude, I actually did not like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I watched that entire thing back when it came out because that's what you did in the pandemic years when like you had nothing else to do at
Yeah.
home. You watched that and whatever the Scarlet Witch one was called.
WandaVision.
There you go. I just
And
watched
Loki.
them all. Oh yeah, Loki came out too around that time. I haven't seen the season 2 Loki, but I did watch a recap of it before this, so I can get caught up. He's like the Time Lord now and all the. I mean, not really.
Yeah,
but
he's
you
a
know what I
British
mean.
man traveling through time and space. Of course he is.
There you go. He's a Time Lord. I'm
Who,
like, how are they
who
gonna work
died but
him
keeps
into
coming back somehow. It all makes
How are they
sense.
gonna work him into the proper ECU again?
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, and then I have like I also watched the Thunderbolts trailer now, and like that also is that a period movie? I need to ask
No,
that now before
that is
that's current.
I guess
Yeah, it's
current for MCU, which puts it maybe 2026, 2027, I think, technically on their timeline.
Oh yeah. By the way, what's up with that? Apparently MCU has jumped in the future a bit.
Yeah, after Endgame jumped forward
That was
5 years, but it
Endgame.
kind of caught up because of the production delays.
So yeah, it's in the 2020. I think. Yeah, because I forgot what I was watching earlier, and they're like, oh yeah, this technically like the Marvel show, whatever that the TV show is called, that takes place in 2026, I guess. And I'm like, wait, what is happening? And that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's
So
just,
I'm just
because that timeline jumped and they kept with that they're technically a few years ahead now. Barring
That's
period
weird.
pieces that take place in different time periods.
But yeah, I watched the Thunderbolts one. I'm interested in it. That one looks interesting. Like we were saying that. Wait, was it with Josh? We were saying like the Suicide Squad reference
Yes.
and everything. And I want to repeat this because I thought it was so funny. But yeah, I had the trailer open because I had just watched it when we were getting ready for the show. But like the top comment on the thing on the trailer for the Thunderbolts movie is this team has the energy of that group project where nobody wants to do the work but still wants it. True. First of all, from the trailer, like the vibes you get from them. But I don't know. I'm interested in this one too. Like, and I like that it also feels very standalone-ish, even though obviously if it's kind of a sequel to the Black Widow movie.
I mean, yeah, it's following up on stuff from Black Widow, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Wakanda Forever. Those all had
Have
Val.
we seen U.S. Agent before?
Yes,
I feel like
he was
Yeah.
the
He
Captain
is
America in Falcon and Winter
He
Soldier.
was yeah.
he was different. That's who that was, right? But he
Yeah.
was. Is that
That was Russell Wyatt or White Russell? I'm sorry.
okay?
Yeah.
So I need to. Apparently, I need to. Okay. Apparently, I need to have a whole sit down and spend like 5 weeks watching everything again.
Yeah, because
I also
he
haven't
also
seen-
talked about how his dad, who played Ego in Guardians 2, gave him some advice. Make sure you can go to the bathroom in your suit easily.
What the fuck? I also haven't seen the newest Guardians of the Galaxy, and I haven't seen. I'm looking at the list of what I have. Actually, it's the only one I haven't seen that's new in the current phase that's ending. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? This is phase
Fantastic
5?
Four is the beginning of Phase 6. I mean, without the Avengers movies, they kind of don't have as big endings as they do to wrap them all together. So it's more of a saga than individual phases, I guess.
Okay, I haven't seen Thunderbolts. Obviously, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's good or bad or not. But is that the movie you want to end Phase 5 on? That just feels like a very weak finish.
I think some of the speculation is that they are technically forming a new Avengers team, and that's what the asterisk is supposed to be for. Like, it's a working title before they settle on, or because they settle on that instead of becoming a new Avengers team.
So we got Taskmaster, we have U.S. Agent, we have Red Guardian,
Ghost,
fuck is-
Black Widow, and Bucky,
where it goes.
the Winter Soldier.
I want a different Taskmaster.
A different you want a different Taskmaster?
Yeah, it's just the personality. Like, if we have it just like self-contained to Black Widow, it's kind of like okay. But the fact that they're back and the fact that we don't have a personality that almost rivals Deadpool, it's just kind of like, oh come on. Now we don't get to have like banter or something.
Wait, that's Florence Pugh?
Yes, Manuel. Always has been. Manuel, thank you for. I'm going to put the meme up here. I'm going to edit your face onto it, and mine onto the always has been guy.
It always. Sorry, I'm looking it up right now, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Avengerators. Oh, okay. So now they're what's it called? A team led by Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
No, the fucking the premise. By the way, there's no plot summary in the Wikipedia at all, which is weird because even the Fantastic Four movie has a plot summary already. But it does say the premise: a group of anti-heroes goes on missions for the American government. And I know that that's just a very loose way to describe it, and it's not quite the same thing. But that sounds like fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
This is MCU Suicide Squad. They're just upset because James Gunn is gone, and they're just like, we could do it better.
I mean, and you throw in a bunch of C-listers just in case, so you can kill off anyone and hope no one really cares if you do,
Is
or
anyone gonna
make
care
them
if
care
Ghost
and then
dies?
feel really bad that minor character C died.
Does anyone care if this Taskmaster dies?
I don't understand how they were. I'm gonna guess that it's all because of this Val person that they all get together. But part of me is just kind of like, what exactly is their like allegiance? Because Suicide Squad was notable in that all of them were just notably bad guys. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I'm Amanda Waller, and I might as well literally use people that no one will give a shit about if they die or not. But they seem to give metahumans a problem for the most part. But here you have Ghost, who I guess is like not really got a reason to be evil. Even if they were evil, it was just kind of like, I want to stop phasing in and out of reality, please. And then Red Guardian's not really a bad guy. He's just kind of just like some old dude who was working for the Russian government. Elena's clearly not a bad guy either. I don't know why Bucky's back here. It kind of feels like maybe Bucky's investigating Val, and it's just kind of like, well, here I am. And then what's it called?
John Walker, U.S. agent.
John Walker's not even the John Walker that like existed post like what's it called, post protest Steve Rogers. It's literally just a guy who like also isn't really that bad of a guy, and they're all just kind of working for Val, who's a mega bitch, which we don't know if she's a mega bitch because she like what's it called, because she like broke up with what's his face,
Everett Ross, unrelated to Thunderbolt Ross, as far as I know.
So is it like, oh yeah, no, Bilbo Baggins broke up with me, now I'm evil?
Well,
and
I mean,
so she had
Bilbo
her like
she was what, director of
fucking
the
villain arc like that.
CIA?
I don't know. You know, it's
I'm going to
just kind
assume
of like,
by Brave New World, she's probably been confirmed as leader of like Department of State or Homeland Security, and they're working for her doing that.
Oh, this is so fucking MAGA. I hate it, but I hate that I can't just say, look at this movie. Could you imagine if Trump won the presidency, and now
Again?
I can't. Now I'm just like, oh, great. Except there's no I mean, unless if for any reason Anthony Mackie wants to suddenly find a bunch of high-tech equipment and save America, I mean, I would not be opposed. That would be pretty fucking meta and amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just kind of like I'm kind of like I am here for my escapist fantasy, but now I'm just kind of like what the fuck, yo.
The Elon Musk. Wait, wasn't Elon Musk in one of the movies? Like,
Iron
for
Man 2,
real?
he has a like
Yeah.
10-second
Yeah,
He
he's
cameo.
exists in this
too.
universe. Can they just make can they just bring back Elon Musk and
That's the film.
he's like Red Hulk sidekick or something?
I feel
Is he not-
afraid that he could probably just be like, I mean, unless if it's like a dangling key situation where it's like, what happened to Elon making the government better? And it's like Disney told them that they could like hire him to be in Marvel movies, and he's just like not having anything else right now. What about the team he hired? Yeah, no, they all went with him. So who's running Doge? To be fair, if nobody's running Doge, we're not paying Doge, so we're kind of saving money there. Okay, so he's just
Mission
gonna be in Marvel
accomplished.
movies. It's like, yeah, I think they're gonna give him a running gag. What kind of running gag? And it's like when they kept killing off Tony Stark in What If. It just like keeps showing up everywhere, and he keeps on dying like Kenny. But they pay him like $2 million just to show up in movies and not do anything else.
Oh my god. Are we never gonna see another She-Hulk anything?
We better get more She-Hulk. I mean, come on.
I assume
No.
I assume she's in the movie equivalent of comic book Limbo at this point.
I'm like, the only reason I bring that up is because I remember I was watching that Red Hulk video, and there was a red She-Hulk, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh come on,
Yeah.
like come
Yeah,
on.
why-
She's even called Red
no?
She-Hulk or whatever.
Porque
Oh,
no
by
los
the-
dos.
By the way, I mentioned this before when I was talking to JD before we went live, but in that video, and I went down a second deep dive about this. At one point, when they were fighting Red Hulk, and I think he'd already had like some like homies that he was fighting with. I forget who the fuck was on his team, but like She-Hulk created an all-female team to fight him. And at first, only Valkyrie came, but she had called everyone on a list. She had like Black Widow, she had called like the Invisible Woman, she called like everyone else, and like they're getting their ass kicked, and they end up like defeating him, but only because the other girls show up at the last minute, and one of them was a hero I'd never heard of before in my life called Tigra. And I looked her up. Apparently, she was just like the cat at one point, but she was a very much more like humanoid like character. But now she's just a full on cat girl. And I'm like, the furry in me wants to know more about this Tigra. Why? When did she come to the MCU? Kevin Feige. Now, I want my Tigra movie.
Sorry, Manuel. I think the distinguished competitions, Wonder Woman 84, kind of killed Cat Curl
Oh yeah, you're right. I
heroes
forgot
and
that
villains.
I actually watched that movie, and I was like, "Why the fuck is there a cat girl?" And that movie was terrible, by the way. But the DCU has a bunch of nonsense. I'm also speaking of like the TV shows. So obviously Disney Plus is canon, but none of the other shows are canon, right? Like the Punisher.
Manuel, broad strokes.
Oh god, damn it.
Assume that they kind of happened in the general arc of things, even if some of the details get changed as they go along. That's just my operating.
I just like to think we have similar looking people that are around, and even though they in the what's it called the Hawkeye show and even the Echo show, it kind of makes us think like they happen still in the same universe as what we got on Netflix. But part of me likes to think that Netflix is its own separate universe because we've only seen the Daredevil
Daredevil
character. So part of me is thinking like this is just Disney's version of what's it called?
Well, I mean, they are bringing back Foggy and Karen as well for Born Again. Fogwell Nelson, I think is Daredevil's partner.
Okay, from Daredevil. Yeah, I was gonna say okay from Daredevil. Okay.
Remember when Happy was Foggy?
Yeah. Like when we were talking about Deadpool and Wolverine when it was just the two of us, Josh, I was just like That's the one joke they could have added to that scene that would have laughed at me. It's like, if when Deadpool just accidentally calls him Foggy instead, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, sorry.
I need to watch Deadpool, Wolverine, or whatever the fuck that movie. Did I say that right that time?
Yes, you said it
I need
for
to
the first time. You said it correctly, Manuel.
I have
It's
seen
like
it before.
that-
Okay.
that-
I don't know if I should say this, but I watched it kind of not legally, and the version I watched wasn't the greatest quality. Like, it wasn't a screener. It was like somebody with a camera in a movie theater, and so that's the way I watched it. It was okay. I was at McDonald's, like. By the way, I think he was watching a screener too, because the movie was still in theaters. I was at McDonald's when it came out, and there was a dude dead ass watching it, volume full up, which is why I heard it. Watching it in the McDonald's while he had fallen asleep. It was just playing. Yeah, it was playing on his phone while he had his like Big Mac meal out, and he had just fallen asleep next to it. Like, he was just sleeping, and the movie was just playing. And I'm like, is
that how they
Deadpool
caught
Wolverine?
Luigi?
Yes,
That's how they caught Luigi?
That was he
Fell
stopped at
asleep watching a
McDonald's.
bootleg version of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes, that's how
Okay. Deadpool and Wolverine. Sorry.
I need to watch that one again. Apparently, I missed a lot there.
Yeah, Manuel. I still remember you asking me, did you realize that wasn't the Logan from the X-Men timeline? It's like, did you not watch the first 10 minutes of the movie?
I'm upset by that still. They should bring that up again. I'm still upset by that. Okay, I mentioned this before, but one of my big issues with comic books is that it's very un-normie friendly. And technically that matters more to the comic books than the MCU. But the MCU kind of is too, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling JD before when we were waiting for you to show up, Josh, that like, as the total normie, they should have kept making Avengers movies. Like, that's a brand they should not have slept on for 5 years. Like, that is weird. That, like, and you might be like, oh well, they can't because they're setting up. I don't fucking care. Like, put whoever's still alive in there. Put like, you know.
You mean like how Civil War is kind of an Avengers movie?
Well, yeah, but that also came out like a year after one. I'm sure he meant something like have Zemo break out of prison and assemble like the Dark Avengers to fight them or something.
Yeah, just like that's what the normies want, and I feel like the MCU kind of lost their way for a minute there, where it's like, oh, everyone needs a spin-off, and I don't know if they were just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what actually stuck.
I kind of do feel like it was throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, because like I said, they should have gone if they were going to make these individual movies, they could just focused on making them their own good outings, because like at the end of the day, it gives less people homework to have to like get together and be like, oh, how is this going to affect my enjoyment of X related movie versus how much is it going to like elevate it, because like very much by looking at Infinity War and Endgame, it's like if you know everything going into these, it's like there's a lot of payoff and it's really cool, but at the same time it's like we didn't need to have that much investment when it came to like the very first Avengers movie. And even with the hot mess that Ultron was, it did kind of feel like it's nice getting a lot more of these if we have them organically together versus just throwing in Falcon and like Ant-Man and later learning. It's like if that one scene looks like it's a little out of place, it's kind of because the studio just wanted to keep throwing in more of the stuff together. Which is why, like, What If is really cool, because it almost kind of feels like, yeah, they're just throwing in a lot of random characters into each other's movies in ways that seem really fun
What
and
If
cool.
as a comic. Yeah, I love that they made a What If series, because What If comic books were my favorite as a kid. I used to love reading those crazy timelines. I've mentioned this before, but like some of my favorite comic books, period, were What If storylines. Like I remember the one I always mention, like what if the Punisher's family was never killed, and basically all that happened was another Punisher was made, like one of his like cop friends became the Punisher like instead, and it was just like I'm like, oh shit, that was interesting. And there was like what if Iron Man like went public with his technology or whatever, and basically there was basically a bunch of evil Iron Man that he had to like make Super Iron Man to like fight. Yeah, that's stupid plotline. It's not okay. I swear it was better in the writing, but yeah, there was ones like that. It was just like, oh shit. And I think there was also one like, what if Reed Richards was the thing instead of the thing? You get what I mean? Was like, and basically, I think it was actually. I'm sorry. I think the actual plot line was, what if the Fantastic Four had different powers? And I forgot what Reed Richards was, but he wasn't like. I think it was a brain. I think it was a floating brain. I'm not making that up. I think he was a floating brain. And basically, Ben Grimm and Susan
Sue Storm, yeah.
Sue Storm, they end up getting married or whatever. And it was just like, damn, homeboy Reed Richards got cucked a little there, but okay, we'll move on. Oh, he even put Modoc. But anyways, what was I getting at here? What if? Oh, yeah, what if is great. I only found out recently when I was looking at the phases. There's another season of What If. I only watched the first one.
There are 3 of them.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Oh,
I
there's
haven't seen all
3.
of the
Oh my
second
god.
season yet.
I haven't seen 2 or 3 then, because I saw that the first one came out around the same time as all those other shows I remember
Mhm.
pandemic-y. So I remember watching that around that time, back when I was absorbing everything. But yeah, like I was saying, going back to the normie thing, like I just feel like that Secret Invasion. First of all, that was terribly written. That was a bad show. But that, first of all, that could have been a movie. Why the fuck was it a TV show? And they could have just rewrote that. If they were obviously throwing shit at the wall in that writing room, they could have made that into an Avengers movie somehow. Just rewritten that as, isn't that what it was originally? Weren't the Avengers involved?
It was a crossover plot. I don't know if it's technically Avengers or like the whole line just affected.
But yeah, they should have did that. That should have been an Avengers movie. Like I think the
I
normies
agree.
would have appreciated, and that was a weird time for Marvel MCU as well. That was in the height of like everyone talking shit about everything that was coming out. So
Oh my gosh.
that would have been a perfect time to have done it. What?
Okay, follow me on this, okay? Because they're obviously trying to make like new stuff, but then they're also trying to like, you know, go back and like because they're always still doing like this thing because they were just doing a lot of nostalgic teasing and stuff during the pandemic. What if the next Avengers movie was going to be Secret Invasion, but you have literally all of the characters that you're like are your new characters because obviously they wanted to throw them all together. I mean, right now they're making the whole Young Avengers thing, but imagine having your like remaining cast of people that survived what's it called Endgame. You have all the new characters that they had been established and stuff, and like give or take for however the movies come out, then you have Secret Invasion occur. You could say like after the end of Guardians 3 because of course they still want to keep Star-Lord. What if like with Guardians 3, not Guardians 3. What if with this Secret Invasion movie, you literally have like the new cast and then you literally have the Skrulls who are transforming between a lot of different people and then you have the Super Skrulls
Yep.
and then it's literally like holy cow because they have like all the powers of the previous people also. So it'd be really nice. I mean, you could give Riri Williams something more to do. You could like this would be cool. This would literally be a cannon fodder thing where they could be fighting a bunch of different people. Closes up some of the things that had occurred with like um Nick Fury from beforehand. And especially because like it's clear that even by his age they don't really give him too much to do in what's it called Secret Invasion. Like it would be really cool if like still in Secret Invasion like you could still have Maria, is it Maria Hill? She ends up
Yes.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could still have characters like end up dying off that you could have had right there. It would have been like, holy cow. I'm mad though about how they killed off Talos. I thought that was some bullshit right there. But like it would be dope, you know, it'd be something that'd be dope. It probably would have been a lot better than what we got with like the Marvels because that was not the best, but I mean if you wanted cannon fodder in a way that would like matter moving forward, that would have been dope. You know?
I like that the Marvels was short, by the way. I remember that was what everybody was talking crap about, but I like that it was short. But yeah, see, I totally agree with you on Secret Invasion. Like that was a wasted. And I know they kind of wrote it weird, so it's not the comic book Secret Invasion, but that was a wasted plot line. That was a wasted show. No one liked it anyway. So
Yeah, I think some of it got rewritten after the war in Ukraine started because a lot of it also takes place in Russia.
Oh, that would make sense. I forget.
Mhm.
I forget the timing of that.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well, I
man.
mean, the war in Ukraine was 2022 and this came out like 2023.
Yeah. So I think it became a sensitive topic, and I think it got edited and or reshot a bit to work around that as well.
I don't know, man. Like I just feel like that was one of the biggest missed opportunities to have made another Avengers movie. It was there, it was whatever. But speaking of nostalgia baiting, now we just have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Who have they said if he's gonna be in this Fantastic Four movie somehow or not?
I think they've hinted at it, but nothing has shown it so far.
Okay, so I assume he has to be like like at the very least it'll be like it's my homie, Mr. Doom. Is that his Victor Von Doom? I forget
Victor
his
Von
name.
Doom? Yes.
Yeah, it's my homie Von Doom. Who I think wasn't okay? This is the comic book continuity, obviously. I think I don't know if it even matters to the movie, but didn't he have to not give birth? What's the word? Didn't he have to like midwife? What's her face?
Oh,
When she gave
Valyria?
birth? Yeah, that's what, yeah. And isn't she in the? Haven't they already said that the first steps thing, like you said
I
earlier?
believe at least one of the kids is, and I don't remember if both of them are.
Fuck. But yeah, so it's like, unless they're gonna undo that whole plot line, like I assume Doom is like kind of floating around. Maybe he's not evil yet.
Mhm.
Maybe he hasn't massacred. Like maybe that's why everything. Like, what if Doctor Doom is like he's in charge of everything, but he's not evil? Like that
Well,
plot line.
I
you
mean
were
that's
saying.
that's definitely where they are with the Ultimates, but then again, or the current run of the Ultimates from the 2024 Ultimate Universe. Yeah, comics are weird, where it's another version of Reed Richards took on that mantle because the Reed Richards from the original Ultimate Universe tortured him and made him into that.
So it wasn't until like, and I mentioned this before. Like I think we were talking about I mentioned this on a podcast on a gaming stream. It was mainly about Superman, but like I realized because DC had a big like wipe in the 80s, and then Marvel had one little bit later on where they kind of like rebooted everything. And in my head, I always thought that those were actual reboots. Like they're like, we're going back to the drawing board. Everything like is different. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter. But now that I'm older, I realize that it's kind of like the Final Fantasy 14 thing. Like that old universe still exists. Like, or happened apparently. It's just that at one point, like, oh, our universe is crossed, and this is the new universe, or whatever, or like, because I mentioned that for DC, because like DC, like, in the 80s, that's when Lex Luthor became like the corporate guy, because he used to just be a mad scientist before, and like other shit like that. Like I think Peter Parker has changed a lot, like in the 90s as opposed to his earlier version. I was reading somewhere. Did you know that the line, the great responsibility, all that, whatever that line, Uncle Ben didn't say that originally?
Yeah, it's just in the narration box, and I think
Yeah, it's just a narration.
Yeah.
They gave it to Uncle Ben later because he didn't have. Speaking of not having an origin story, he didn't show up with an origin story. They gave him that later, and then they gave that line to Uncle Ben. But yeah.
To be fair, the full quote is also, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. And that got shortened, I think, I don't know if it had gotten shortened in comics before, but I think it's more popularized with Raimi from that.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's cool that they did include it in No Way Home, but like the way that it's sold in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, it's just on point. It just rolls off so well. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man movies, I mentioned before we went live too. I'm so upset that the new Spider-Man movie is not coming out this year. I thought it was coming out this year. Like
we were supposed to get Spider-Verse like last year.
He means the Tom Holland, not the animated one.
No, the Tom Holland. Okay, I actually did watch that new TV series the other day, like the first 2 episodes, I guess. And I did watch that one movie, the one everyone likes, the Into the Spider-Verse, but the one that came out like 3 years ago or something like that. Or maybe it was longer than that.
I mean, Across the Spider-Verse was what, almost 2 years ago now?
Almost.
That's probably the one I saw then. It was the one where it had this is gonna sound stupid. It's the one that everyone
Go ahead.
That was the movie I saw when I went on my first date with my girlfriend.
Are you serious?
We went to go watch.
Is that the one where like
all
the spider people are there? Where it's like it's Gwen Stacy. Okay, I know it's a couple movies, but they have that scene where they're all like they're discussing who was their person that made them their person.
Yeah.
Wait, I worded that badly, but yeah.
The one with Spider-Man 2099.
Dude, remember when everyone had a 2099 version? Like that was also my comics era. Like I remember I used to love Punisher 2099 because he just looked fucking insane. He had like futuristic armor and like lasers. But anyway, I forgot what I was getting at here.
There's something about Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man movie, yeah. We got those movies in back-to-back almost like in rapid fire, especially No Way Home especially Far From Home and No Way Home. Those came out like within like a year and a half of each other, I think, or 2 years.
2 years.
Because definitely they both came out lockdown-ish time. And then it's been 4 years, or it's gonna be 5 years till it comes out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's Peter Parker been doing? Like, the last one ended on a crazy cliffhanger. You can't just leave that going for 5 years.
I don't think it was
really a cliffhanger. It was just simply here's a person who doesn't exist playing a character everyone knows and loves, or well, I mean, saving the day as as a superhero everyone knows and loves, and that's just it. He's not backed by any company. He is a normal person just trying to get by with his own made Spider-Man suit that looks better than the first one he made, and now he is just Spider-Man.
Why does Spider-Man always get like the fucked up endings? Like, is that just to teach everyone life sucks? Get used to it, because like, yeah, like his friends are like going off of their own lives. Mary Jane's probably married with 5 kids already by the time skip they're gonna have to do.
Peter B. Parker has
Peter
a
just
good
gets
life.
the Parker luck,
Well,
man.
she's not Mary Jane, but yeah, she.
And the Sam Raimi Spider-Man guy, they made it work. They made it work after 3.
Mhm.
You know,
I like that movie, by the way. By the way, I saw Kraven the Hunter the other day, and that movie wasn't horrible. No, I feel like no one's talking about it, and because it's one of those not MCU Marvel movies.
Mhm.
But it wasn't. It wasn't absolute dog shit. It was actually okay. I don't know if that's the bar we have for the Sony Spider-Verse or whatever the fuck they call it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's how low the bar is. I'm like, this one wasn't absolute hot garbage.
Well, it's nice to know it clears the low bar set by Morbius and Madam Web.
Yes. Oh my god, it's funny because everyone talks shit about Morbius. That Spider Girl movie, what the fuck was it?
Madam Web?
You said it. Yeah, you said it. Madam Web. Yeah, that one was the worst. like oh my god, there was so much missed opportunity there. We could have got fucking what is her name? Euphoria girl. We could
Sydney
have had
Sweeney.
her. Yeah, we could have Sydney Sweeney as Spider Girl, but you guys ruined it. You guys, I mean Sony. So yeah. I don't know, man. All I gotta say is MCU needs to like when they by the time Doomsday comes around and Secret Wars, which by the way, you guys ever watched the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s?
Yes, Manuel.
I love the Secret Wars arc.
Okay.
I
think they're going for the 2015 Secret Wars arc, which is a completely different thing.
Fucking hell. God damn it! That's the okay. That what I actually do for the comics too. I remember like when that happened. This was in the midst of my comic, like pretty much right in the smack dab in the middle of like when I was into comic books. I went out and I got like every Secret Wars thing. Which, by the way these storylines used to happen back in the days, I don't know if they still do. Is like when they're crossovers like that. It would be like Thor number 7700, whatever the fuck it is. But then it would say on the top like Secret Wars number 12, and you'd have to like collect across like crazy other storylines, and they would all kind of come together. And that was a bitch to find at a comic book store. I just want to let you know that, because now we know, and now there was probably an omnibus. But back in those days, I'm like, oh, what was number 12? Oh, number 12, that was Amazing Spider-Man this. What was 13? Oh, that was X-Men, Uncanny X-Men number 77. I'm like, ah, motherfucker.
Yeah, now
But,
the ones that tie into it are generally labeled as such, and a lot of times there's one central storyline comic going on, like as a mini or a maxi series when they're doing stuff like that.
It's a standalone. Like it's not like within the character's already existing book.
If there's a tie-in one, it'll generally be marked as such. Like it will still be in the current numbering, but it'll say, "Oh yeah, part of Secret Wars," or part of like Gang War was the like street level New York one from 2 years ago now.
I'm upset now that I know that Secret Wars isn't going to be the old Secret Wars.
It seems like they're taking some elements from it, from either leaks or fan speculation, something to do with the Beyonder, but it's also, I'm going to assume, multiversal collapse into like one world like it was in Hickman's Secret Wars.
But my point is, by the time we get to Doomsday and Secret Wars, they better bring us fucking Tiger and Squirrel Girl. That's all I got to say.
Squirrel Girl for sure.
Yes. Okay. If Marvel doesn't bring Squirrel, I can't. That's a hard word for me to say, by the way. Squirrel Girl. Sorry, just those like fucking R's and L's all together there. I just can't say that word. They don't bring the furry bait. They're stupid because her and like Psylocke and Cloak and Dagger are all over the internet right now. So
yeah, thank you, Marvel rivals.
Oh yeah, I should have said that especially. It's funny because when I was at ALA, I was like, why are there so many Psylocke cosplayers? And I didn't realize she was in Marvel Rivals, and it's like old school looking Psylocke too. That's crazy. I thought Psylocke would have gotten an upgrade at this point, but yeah, it's just like purple suit, purple looking, one piece bikini Psylocke, and she's still like, yeah.
I mean, isn't it a leotard, or I guess technically a unitard?
Yaku, why are you reminding us of the real world right now? We know it's on fire, and now you're telling me that I'm not gonna get my packages from
effective. Wait, I see that big ass thing. I saw it earlier, and I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a spam message at first.
Yeah, I was making sure it wasn't a bot.
Oh, that's Piako.
Inbound.
They went back to acting normal below with my video games. Oh, this was all just to say that they get their video games.
They're not getting their
I
video
guess,
games.
Why are you getting your video games from China and Hong Kong? What?
Some people go to Play Asia fun fact, if you a lot of times because I Play Asia, I think a lot of those releases are in, I'm
Oh.
not sure what they call that region, but it's like basically Hong Kong. And when games come out in Hong Kong, they're typically in English. Whether it's good English or not, it's another story. So a lot of Japanese games that only have Japanese releases, they technically have English language releases in the Hong Kong region, and Play Asia sells a lot of those.
Yeah.
But
And just like that,
Play
the
Asia
current
sponsor us.
administration made video games expensive AF.
Yeah, we can save that for another episode.
Yeah.
Play Asia sponsor us, please.
Manuel, I thought you
Play
didn't want
Asia?
sponsorships.
I will sell my soul for so I could play like all my crazy import games. They had some imports for some of the East games, and I'm like, I want that. And when I was in Taiwan, I almost bought East Origin for the Switch, which I think only has a physical in like the Southeast Asia region. And I didn't buy it, and I've been kicking myself ever since. It was like $10. Like, what was I thinking? Should have just fucking bought it. Anyway,
We'll take all the sponsorships for all the free stuff.
yeah. Just give us free stuff. You don't have to pay us, so our soul isn't sold that badly. I'll still shill for you, Play Asia and whoever else there is. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
So we're our final thoughts on the MCU and all that stuff. We lost track there.
Yeah.
I'm upset that they brought back fucking Robert Downey Jr. for fucking Doctor Doom.
You said that.
Yeah, you said that
weeks
already,
ago.
Manuel. I know why they did it. See, I don't know. I'm getting back to that. I know why they did it because nostalgia baiting. We need to like get more money in the MCU, but it's just like
Manuel,
they could have had anyone
you're just
else.
Manuel, you're just going through what Sonic 06 was for everybody who played what's it called? Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's the same thing. They just tried making a bless you, babe. They tried making a what's it called? They tried making Sonic Adventure 3. It was Sonic 06, and it was terrible. I can see where you're going for it because if you literally play 06, it's almost like this kind of feels like an adventure game, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's supposed to feel nostalgic towards adventure, and it's just kind of like, why would they do this? There's only a 6-year gap.
So, hold on. I was looking at the Sonic 06 thing. Did you know? No, who the fuck plays? Okay, yeah. Did you know Lacey Chabert plays the princess in that?
No, I did not. Are you gonna turn this into Hot Frosty now, Manuel?
Yes. So, because I was going on a mad Lacey Chabert rabbit hole like around Christmas time because she's been in like 50 Hallmark movies and like 30 of them are Christmas. I am not making these numbers up, by the way. These are real numbers. And so like I was watching so many like of her movies. And I was like, what credits does she have? Like, being that level of obsessive. And I'm like, she was the princess from Sonic 06? I mean, what the fuck?
Mean Girls had come out 3 years before that, so
yeah, it was really current too. So yeah, I'm like, and damn well if my point to bring that up is she better come out in the Sonic franchise. She better play when we eventually in Sonic 8 or whatever one, and we start mining for like new characters to bring in and start bringing up Princess Elise. Is that her name? Elsie Elise? I'm gonna look that up real fast. I have it open here. It's Elise.
Have her voice Amy Rose.
No, I think they actually got Amy's video game voice actress for that, though.
Who the hell did they voice? Oh, wait, they're just going to use her anime voice actress?
I think they're using her video game voice actress, at least in the Sonic 3 push credits.
Come on.
Wait, which one? Are we going with Sonic X, Sonic Boom, or the other one that came out, the Sonic multiverse?
Sonic 9 Werewolf Sonic? Oh, thank you, Biako. You mentioned Hot Frosty.
Sorry, she doesn't speak. I thought she had spoken and had her game voice actress. My mistake.
Oh, good. Okay, I don't want to say good, but typically I'm not a huge fan. I know this might be a controversial take. I don't know if it is or isn't. Just like I'm not a big fan when they start doing that kind of weird casting where they bring A-list actors, as in like Hollywood actors, to voice video game characters or like lower budgeted animated stuff. I'm not too huge when they get like anime voice actors to be in big budget movies. I don't know if that's a controversial take, but
no, I just think it's funnier that we literally have like Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow voiced by like AAA. Well, okay, AAA. Sonic's like maybe B. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be honest. I'm not like what I like. Not everyone knows exactly who that guy is off the top of their back. They'll just be like, "Hey, it's that guy that was with Aziz in Parks and Rec."
Mhm.
But like, what's it called?
Idris
But like,
Elba
you know,
and
you
Keanu
have
Reeves are-
relatively, it's like that like, you know, Hollywood persona, and then you have freaking Colina's Tails, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm here, I'm here with the big boys.
We
Hey,
need to, yeah. So you guys need to get Lacey Chabert as Amy, and you need to get Sydney Sweeney as Rouge the Bat.
I have no
Just be-
objections.
Just because or just get Sydney Sweeney to be the live action Rouge the Bat. I'll be down with that too. If that even
Manuel,
makes sense.
you remember when we were wrapping the show up?
I know who I want to be Rouge the Bat, even though I don't think we'll get her ever. But you know who I want to be
Who?
Rouge the Bat in live action?
Who?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. That is not who I thought you were going to say. That I don't know who I thought you were.
Don't tell me you don't hear it. Don't tell me you don't hear it.
From like when she was in. Oh, okay. It's funny because the first movie I thought about is a movie that I'm sure nobody thinks about that she's in. It's like We Need to Talk About Kevin, which I watch regularly on Tubi every so often. I know it's a weird movie to put on to go to sleep to.
And
terrible
somehow
movie to go
you
to
I
sleep
thought you were
got
gonna say
Ezra Miller
Constantine.
into this somehow, but okay,
What-
congratulations.
What movie did you think I was going to talk about?
Constantine?
Oh, she's in that too. You're right.
Yes, she's Gabriel.
Okay, so I guess it's not a bad voice actor. I thought. Do you know who Sydney Sweeney is, Josh? I was just curious.
No, you have good choices, okay?
No, I'm
You
just
do.
saying.
It's just that
But
I'm
my choice
thinking
was- my
like
choice was
if
just a
there's
boob
someone who's
Yes,
gonna
Manuel,
like
we know you're that simple.
It was just a boob joke. I just want to clarify.
Okay,
Like,
so
I'm
we
sure
can actually wrap up this show, Manuel.
Everyone go watch Sydney Sweeney's comedy. I forgot what the fuck it's called. It's not. I don't remember what it's called. It's actually pretty funny.
Anyone
It's on
But You?
Netflix. There you go. I'm like, it has a stupid title like that. Yeah, there you go. I actually like that one. I kind of got over that, but similar to the Christmas movies I watch all the time, that was one of the movies I would put on. I think it's still on Netflix, but I used to put that on like a lot just to like go to sleep to. And she's not naked in that one, so go figure. It's like I actually like her acting sometimes. What did I say? That's mean.
Yeah, Manuel.
I love Sydney Sweeney. I'm sorry.
really quick.
Any-
We have isn't Keanu Reeves Shadow? Yes,
Yes.
Keanu Reeves is Shadow, and he wanted to be sure that he could make the fans happy, so he said it was a really big hurdle, but he's glad that everything went okay. Go listen to Chemical Brothers. I don't know who they are, unfortunately. I do apologize. So I guess I should. And then I was seeing a bunch of stuff because it was like My Chaos, Chow, it's DC.
Chows. I think
Kill
he's saying
Suicide
chows,
Squad.
but because it's stretched out.
Yeah. Also, I'm scrolling just real fast only because I had it open. Lacey Chabert, when she was in Sonic 06, apparently Lisa Ortiz was Amy in that game.
Mhm.
I don't think Lisa Ortiz is always Amy because I feel like I would know that, but I guess I wouldn't be upset if she shows up. That'll be my exception to my somewhat controversial statement earlier.
My girlfriend says just don't make it Ariana Grande.
Oh my God! Don't make it Ariana Grande or what's that other girl they put in there? Or don't make it Zendaya.
They can make it Zendaya.
Wait,
I
They
don't
can
like.
totally make it
is it-
Zendaya.
I
Just
thought it was-
don't make
I don't.
it. Okay, the problem is that if they make it Zendaya, she needs to have a dance number also.
Oh
my
my God.
girlfriend is very much don't let it be Ariana Grande.
Like I forgot who I was talking to the other day, and I'm like, you know, damn well they're gonna put Zendaya as this is a while. This isn't recent. This is before even the third movie came out. I'm like, you know, damn well when they bring over Amy, it's gonna be fucking Zendaya. Just
Manuel,
because she's like
it's Zendaya.
what? Zendaya, tomato,
Manuel.
same thing. Okay, I'm sorry, it's Zendaya.
By
the way,
I was
So
looking at the
for
pronunciation on
Marvel
Wikipedia
versus
just to make
Capcom
sure.
4, I
Is
want
that her?
Galactica, Squirrel Girl.
And yes, that's her actual first
Magix.
name.
Okay,
What?
Zendaya would be Rouge. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If they like. This might sound stupid. I just said I don't want Zendaya as Amy, but I guess if Zendaya was Rouge, I wouldn't care as much. I think she would actually be a good Rouge.
Zendaya
as
sounds
voice
too young
voice.
to be Rouge. Rouge needs to be like sultry voice or woman.
We're not going to bring Rouge until Sonic 5. Okay, we'll just turn to a Sonic talk.
Yes, this turned into a Sonic talk. Well, I'm sure I can find some loose connection. He must have crossed over at some point.
We need to get Biggs the cat. We need to get
Did he ever
need
cross over
what's
with
her
Archie?
name?
Who crossed over with the Punisher? There we go.
Big the Cat needs to be played by Flavortown Guy Fieri because the Food Network has royally fucked Guy Fieri in terms of what they've been paying him. So if anyone's gonna be Big the Cat, it should be Guy Fieri.
That would actually be. I'd be down with that. Real fast, I remember when Archie had the Punisher comic, Punisher crossover. I had that comic book until kind of recently, and I mean kind of recently, about 4 or 5 years ago. That just got water damage in storage. That's really upsetting. I was like, oh no.
No.
Yeah, I remember I had that one, and it was not a what if. It was like a real storyline where, like, he just the Archie people were there, like Jughead and whoever the fuck the other people are. I don't know.
Betty, Veronica, Cheryl.
Yeah, I actually was kind of into Archie comics too. Like, I used to buy. I used to buy a lot of comics. I was just a comic like nut for like 3 years of my life. As a matter of fact,
Are you saying
when
you
I
were
had
a comic nut, or you nutted to comics for?
Yes.
3 years of your
I
life?
mean,
The
I'll
answer is
be
yes.
real. It was a little both. Yeah, yes. Okay, real fast. I remember like I still have 2 boxes of I had 3 boxes of comics still there.
Oh, that's really
like, long
depressing
ones.
Manual?
if it is, Wesley.
I'm gonna have to ask you afterwards about some of those, just in case my sister might want to buy them off you.
Oh, well, you're gonna hate what I'm about to say next.
You about to throw them out?
No. I used to have way more than those 3 boxes. Those are just the ones that, like, basically it was an arbitrary like number just to like stop at. I used to have about like 6 or 9. I know, like weird because some of them weren't full, which is common because I put other things in there too. But like, I threw away all the ones that wouldn't fit against the wall behind my door. So that was the arbitrary cutoff point. If the door doesn't open when they're in front of it, I threw them away. So there was like a bunch of boxes that were just tossed. A ton of comics.
Okay.
None of them were probably worth any money, but it's more like, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of made me sad too. I wish I had done that. There's a lot of things I wish I had done. Oops. But anyway, on that lovely note of destruction and horrible traumatic moments, let's move on. Let's close
Let's
it, I
wrap
guess.
up. Oh wait, what you got there? Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Does he actually kill the Marvel Universe?
An alternate universe, but yes.
Is
And
this
then he-
like?
They
Is
gave
this
him,
like?
like-
And then in the Alliance of Deadpools, kills that Deadpool. And I believe there was another comic event like in the last 5 years where he does it again.
I remember. Oh shit! That's a very realistic looking Punisher he's killing there.
Yeah.
There's if you ever watched Xena, I remember there was this Warrior Princess. There was a part of the series like by season 5 where she killed all the Greek gods. I'm not making this up. And then she was traveling, like literally becoming like a god killer. And I'm not kidding you. I'll never forget the tagline. It was like first she took out the Greek gods, then she took out the Norse gods. Now she's coming for the Romans or something like that. And I'm like, aren't they the same
she
gods?
did-
Yeah, exactly.
She did God of War before
Yeah, she did
God
She
of
did
War.
God of
God of
War
War.
before Kratos.
Yes. Fun fact, yeah, you can go watch Xena and like it's the not gonna lie, the last seasons aren't that great, but that she's just like killing gods like in each arc there. It's crazy stuff. Anyways, on that note, yeah, that's a better note than me throwing out comics.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
cool beans.
Yeah, next show will be Valentine's related, and then after that show we'll be watching Brave New World with Maga Hulk. We'll be watching Maga Hulk.
What else are we doing this week, Manuel?
Tomorrow we're playing Final Fantasy VIII with Warren. I don't know what time. I hope it's not early because I have to do laundry when I get home. So it's probably not going to be early. I think at one time I'm going to have to put my foot down. It'll probably be at 5 at the earliest. So assume a normal time.
Yeah.
Friday's not Drink Talk Roll, but hopefully the episode will be out on YouTube because it's going to be a doozy. Like it was the most cursed stream we've ever done in our lives.
Yeah, it's already edited and uploaded, so hopefully it should be out. Assuming nothing's bad cursed in that.
the YouTube channel got deleted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Golden Sunday
It was
should be back
cursed.
sometime, either this weekend or on Monday. We're just working around the big game because I want to watch all
you
those
can
commercials.
You can watch a Super Bowl for free on Tubi. I feel like I'm kind of scared because I'm scared Tubi's going to become like Hulu. I think everyone's forgotten, but Hulu used to be free at one point.
With ads.
Yeah, but like I'm like, please don't become a paid service, Tubi. Please don't become a paid service. But
It's
then
like
again,
the only place I can watch Hanabi and like some other choice stuff without paying money.
no, yeah, but it's owned by Fox, and I think Fox, and there's a lot of weird shit on there if you want to dive through it. And I think Fox just likes having free like media like that sometimes. So I'm hoping that they keep it. And yes, it's the
Yeah.
Bad Fox, but it doesn't matter. They have good movies and it's free. Like I'm not I have an ad blocker. I'm not supporting them. Wait, should I have said that? They're gonna charge me now. No, just kidding. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. This is our MCU talk. We'll come back. Probably not have a full thing, but we'll come back and we'll discuss each movie as they happen. Brave New World. Then it's not the Expendables.
Thunderbolts.
What the fuck's it called? Thunderbolts. The Expendables. That's not even a comic book movie. Then it's the Thunderbolts, and then it's Marvel. Fantastic Four: First Steps. That's not until July. It's like around. Is that during AX?
No, I
think
believe
it's
it's
during AX.
after.
Ah, shit. Okay. I'm like, part of me was like, if it's during AX, maybe I'll just go down to the theater. I know I'm not going to go to the con. But okay, I guess not. Super Bowl. Who's even playing? Does anyone know who's playing in the Super Bowl? I actually don't know. That's not even a
The
joke.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Is it the Eagles? I feel like it's always the Eagles. Or it's always the Patriots. If anyone knows.
It's Chiefs
who
versus
it
Eagles,
is.
Manuel.
Oh, Chiefs versus Eagles.
Manuel,
Okay.
I don't think have the Patriots been back since Brady left?
No, but I mean, like, I remember when I was at Party City, the Patriots like were in the Super Bowl for like 3 years in a row. It felt like.
Yeah.
Only because like we said like we would carry the team stuff, obviously. So I just remembered like that was how I used to know all the. I've mentioned this before. That's how I knew all the holidays and who was playing the Super Bowl, just because of the store made me know, basically. Anyways, Chiefs again, the third time. I didn't know that either. I guess that's what happens when you don't work Party City. Anyways, I want to watch it just because for the fuck of it, because it's on Tubi. I guess that marketing works on me. I guess. Anyway, on that note, see you later. Catch you next week. Next Tuesday will be a Valentine's themed episode. Peace out.
Good night.